Oh, Tom, I bet you're so glad you're not in Mexico anymore. Mexico's burning, the cartels are attacking everything. Really? Take a step back. Assess the evidence of your life. Has everything that's ever happened in terms of world events been real, or has it always been a psyop? Don't be so quick to believe the media. And no, I'm not talking about the fucking spaz media on TV. I'm talking about the more convincing spaz media, like Lotus Eaters. This is how they've dealt with it. So they've totally fed into the narrative that this is a war. Because obviously what's really going on here is yet another psyop. Another psyop that's all aimed at one world government that is going to bring about the technocrats, the American technocratic state, the New World Order, not American, you know, we all know that it's really small hats, but disguised as American, that was, you know, talked about by Elon Musk's grandfather. You know, it's all one big, massive club. We've seen Donald Trump talk about how he wants Canada.
I would love to see Canada be the 51st state.
How he wants Greenland.
I'm not talking about money for Greenland yet. I might talk about that. But right now, we are going to do something on Greenland, whether they like it or not.
He was talking only, this is on the 8th of January, so this is, what, just over a month ago. He was preparing us for this, telling us that the cartels run Mexico.
We are going to start now hitting land with regard to the cartels. The cartels are running Mexico. It's very, very sad to watch and see what's happened to that country. But the cartels are running, and they're killing 250, 300,000 people in our country every single year. The drugs.
It's just such a coincidence, isn't it? Such a coincidence that these evil dictators or these places that need saving are all on that map. All on that map of the technocratic state, which is an AI-ran state. Technological state. And we've also seen Trump talking about bringing in AI systems to the government to monitor everything. That's what Doge was about. You know, they show you how out of hand everything is, so that you'll accept things that you'll never accept. You know, once they show you Doge and the fact that you've not been able to trust the government for your whole lifetime, then maybe you're willing to try an AI government.
I'm announcing today that my administration will lead an international effort to enforce biological weapons convention, which is going to be meeting with the top leaders of the world by pioneering an AI verification system that everyone can trust.
And of course, once they've got an AI government, the government can become very tyrannical and they can blame it on AI, like, oh, it's out of our hands. They've been conditioning us for ages to believe that AI is a threat to us and could take over this world and like has sentient consciousness almost, to the point where it will dictate our future. So they make it the government, and then guess what? It goes all tyrannical, just like they've been saying it will, just like they are already. And we're all like, oh shit, AI is so powerful, there's nothing we can do now. Now we're all under the control of AI, and then it really can take away any last illusions of democracy, any last illusions of we're here to serve you. Then it really can be enslavement to the point of Hunger Games, to the point of Squid Games. And, well, it's AI, what can we do? It's just so powerful. Sorry we let it in, but it's too late now. But of course that's not the problem. The problem is the cartels, the people. Yeah, it seems to me that the cartels are just you and I, but with more balls and weapons. They are people who have realised that the government is, you know, controlled by one group of people, and is satanic and tyrannical and all of that stuff, and they're freedom fighters, and the media labels them as cartels because it would hate to give status to these people, it would hate to give validation to these people, so obviously it labels them as criminals and cartels. And what will also happen within that is we will see you know, just like we see with lefty campaigners, the blue-haired, you know, pro-abortion, pro-migration, just, you know, pro-everything that's destroying the West. You know, we've all seen that they're paid activists, or a big proportion of them are, particularly in America. Or it's the same with the cartels. If you listen to Jeff Berwick, or there was another guy, I forget his name, who are actually living in Mexico, you know, they're just laughing at this. So apparently, there's a group, I forget their name, but basically the Al-Qaeda is how Jeff Berwick describes them, of the cartels in Mexico, which are basically, just controlled terrorists, by the same people every time. So they've been used to cause what was apparently 6 hours of mayhem. And now obviously the media are telling you, including people like Lotus Eaters. I mean, for me, this has totally finished Lotus Eaters off. I've known for ages, they don't talk about chemtrails, they're fucking centre-right, they're not even ethno-nats. So they're, I've known for a long time that they're at best useful idiots or controlled opposition. And I'm sorry, but I hate to do it because I really like him and I've always felt it was genuine. But I'm going to throw British Lounger in there as well. Like anyone, I'm just completely done with anyone who talks about politics as if it's real, who talks about life as if we still live in a democracy. Like clearly they are at best useful idiots, or they are. I'm starting to lean more and more towards controlled media, just part of the mainstream media, but made to look very alternative. And then there's Dino Bain, who again I like greatly, and like British Lounger, he supported me a bit in the past. But he talks about Elon Musk as if he's some sort of saviour of the people, or even has potential. He does note it with some precautions, but the fact that he's even speaking as if Elon Musk has potential to be for the people, when his grandfather was one of the creators of the techno state of New World Order. And he talks about going into space, which isn't what they tell us it is, and you definitely can't travel into space with rockets like they tell us you can, and the moon isn't any, nothing about space is what they tell us it is. And then he's also fucking electric cars, and microchips. I mean, how can anyone not see that Elon Musk is part of the club? So, yeah, although I've only seen the Lotus Eaters speaking about Mexico, it's really just blown all. I've been struggling for a while with British Lounger. As much as I love watching him because he's so intellectually smart and he breaks it all down on a 3D level fantastically. Yeah, it's just too 3D. Like, if you're not going to mention the fucking lines in the sky, like that's not even a conspiracy. Like, what is stopping him? Anyway, this isn't meant to be about other YouTubers. It's meant to be about Mexico, how it's all a psyop. So yeah, so we've seen Trump rescue Venezuela from an evil dictator because these governments are just so humanitarian and compassionate and really care about the people of Venezuela. And then the next awakening, like the first step of awakening is like, okay, it's not what they say it is, it's for money, it's for oil, it's, or even a bit more awakened than that would be the American government wants to control the cocaine supply, because we all know that it's actually governments that, supply all of that. But actually it's not about money, it's not about material stuff, they've already got all that, this is about one world government. This is about enslavement. So they've taken Venezuela already. They've been hinting at Canada for a long time. They've been hinting at Greenland for quite a while now. And now suddenly they've got the perfect reason to justify going into Mexico, because the cartels are burning everything. Even though if you listen to anyone who's actually living in Mexico, everything is normal. And it lasted for 6 hours, and it was literally, apparently it was, it was like a movie set. Jeff Berwick was saying, 6 hours of like this fake cartel group that's paid for by the usual people. We're going around burning everything, and yeah, it was pretty terrifying for people who got caught up in it, and some people did die for sure and all that. Got to make it look real, and then literally it all just got cleared away 6 hours later. But the media aren't telling you that bit, of course, and neither people like the Lotus Eaters. They're telling you that this is war, and and only Donald Trump can say. Obviously I've known for ages that Alex Jones. Alex Jones disappeared as a fat man who seemed to speak the truth, and came back with a completely different skin complexion, toned as fuck. It was like they rebooted the clone version of him, clearly. And suddenly he was pro-Trump and just pro, like, getting you into the system, just like all of them, just like, people who look good, like Katie Hopkins, but she's pro-Trump, she's pro, she was even pro-Farage until Rupert Lowe came along, and obviously Rupert Lowe's the next version of Trump or the English version of Trump, but just keeps getting you to buy in, just keeps pulling you back in. So if you fell for this, my question is to you, at what point are you going to start taking a breath? At what point are you going to start seeing the patterns and allowing some space between you seeing something in the media and you reacting to it? I mean, when are... And you know, this is a journey, you know, like when I first saw this, it was texted to me by someone, and I was like, all right, yeah. It didn't really provoke a reaction in me because I know the cartels aren't what they tell us they are, and but you know, I didn't really think into it, and I was like, oh yeah, something probably is kicking off, whatever. And then I thought about it a bit more, and I just just remembered that technocrat state map, and then I watched Jeff Berwick's episode, and I was just like, oh right, yeah, of course, you know, this is so clearly everything's a psyop. Like, so I'm really not getting at you here, because I get that life is fucking complicated and the psyops are very convincing, but I'm just trying to encourage you, and like I say, for myself it's been a journey. It's not, you know, I feel like I'm only just at the point where I fucking just dismiss everything. All right, yeah, everything is clearly a psyop, like literally everything, you know. But yeah, really try and work on that, like that space between event, reaction, buying into, and stop watching. I think stop watching Lotus Eaters for sure. And you know, oh man, I don't want to say it about British Lounger because he feels like a good man and an individual. But you know, as long as you're believing, you know, if you're finding yourself buying into politics in any way, then you have been enslaved. Your mind has been enslaved. You have been tricked. You have been conditioned. There is no democracy. There are no politicians. There is just one big club that is harvesting your energy and is going to enslave you. And then once you're enslaved and completely powerless, then you're all going to be offed. So yeah, just try waking up a bit more. And again, you know, people are going to get, you know, if you're at the point where that offends you, then you're so of the ego and so of the mind, but you haven't really got any chance. So I suppose I'm not even really talking to those people. But my intention here is not to offend. It's just to, like, you know, very clearly try and cut through the conditioning that we're all suffering from. Yeah, Mexico isn't burning. It's just the one world government spreading under the guise of America. But, you know, it's not. I mean, just look at the American government and who's in that and where they're all from. It ain't America. Blessings.
How did you convince Hezbollah to buy this?
Well, obviously, they didn't know that they were buying it from Israel.
Who did they buy it from, or think they were buying it from?
We have an incredible array of possibilities of creating foreign companies that have no way being traced back to Israel, shell companies over shell companies who affect the supply chain to our favor. We create a pretend world. We are a global production company. We write the screenplay. We're the directors. We're the producers. We're the main actors. The world is our stage.